Well, no, the clock.
Oh, it's
Remember?
just a timer. Oh,
Oh my
that's
goodness.
just too many things. Too many things, Jack.
It's like you're new to this or something.
I am. I'm never really here. I mentally check out at about 5:50.
Oh, interesting. They've changed the format, so they have
Oh,
their own timer.
that's why it threw me on because I saw the
Oh, here we
timer.
go. Here we go. Now we're good.
You
I
don't know
see.
anything either.
The software changes stuff all the time, so I'm
I love
always
how you act like it's just me that doesn't know anything.
it is.
It is not. I proudly present you.
I semi know what's going on,
Mm.
most of the time, some of the time.
Never.
The
Never.
trick is to pretend like
That's how I got this job.
yes.
Let me stop before people think I'm like for real.
They know you're for real.
They
Let's
already
be
know.
honest.
You're right. My following comes way before
I,
this
one of my
show.
one of my favorite things is when I like switch over to Facebook just to make sure the stream's working and I hear like the echo of what we said 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. Yeah, this great echo. Did you see that Joseph joined me on a live stream?
I did.
He hammed it up. Joseph was all about it.
Let's see here. Comments. I'm gonna share this sucker out.
Do it. Let
Hope
them
people
know
don't.
what we're doing.
Let's hope people don't get offended.
Too late. We're always offended.
I mean, somebody's always offended.
I feel like the Hulk statement, like, I'm always angry. It's like, I'm always offended.
Oh my God.
Not me. I could care less. It's like, whatever, man.
I'm always angry.
I'm always angry.
I just save it till I'm live.
True story. True story.
Like 2 minutes here. Do starter projects. Share. And I'm gonna be so frustrated when the last episode of WandaVision airs.
Yeah, me too.
Kickstarter. Share. I love that this is our build up 2 minutes beforehand.
Oh, I read his bio completely wrong. I thought it was just your wife that was from Melbourne, but I get it. Shaun and his wife. Because I'm
I leave with that.
He said the bio. Why didn't it say? And I was like, oh, stupid. If you would have read it the right way, you would have seen they're both there. Got it. This is the moment that Jack chimes in and is like, see, she never knows what she's doing.
She doesn't know what's going on.
I did read this. I swear I did.
Streamers. I had someone like get frustrated with me because they were like, you keep sharing your streaming like show. And I'm like, yeah, your group's called Streamers. And they're like, it's only for video games. I was like, well, then you need to change what it's called. Like, don't get mad at me. And they're like, well, everybody knows that streamers are video game players. I was like,
stupid. In a world of COVID, everybody's streaming now.
Yeah.
Like, what are you saying to me? Like, what is your logic right now? The whole world's adapted to this post-COVID world. Why haven't you caught up?
Yeah.
Like, I need to understand. Everybody knows. No.
The post-COVID world. It sounds like a horror movie.
That's what we are in. I got nothing to do but accept the defeat and stock up on masks.
True. It's all about getting a fancy mask now, right?
Oh, I'm not doing the whole coordinating with my outfit thing. I'm doing like, you're going to know I'm a nerd just by looking at my mask thing. Like, that's what where I'm at. I've got a DC one. I've got a Marvel one. I'm about to get a Mario Brothers one. I'm excited about that.
Wario.
That was a terrible Mario impersonation.
It's Wario.
I don't care.
Wario.
Either way, terrible. Try again.
I want to hear. All right, let's hear yours. Let's hear yours.
Bitch, I don't do impressions.
Mm-hmm.
Why
All
is
right.
somebody calling me right now as we
Well, we're
start the show?
starting the show.
Well,
so-
do it because I'm not answering the phone. Hi, Gamer, and this is the breakdown. What? Hey, everybody!
That's already dancing. Welcome to episode 9, season 3.
Hi, everyone! Did you miss me? Because for once, I missed you guys. No, I'm just kidding. I always miss you guys. It's Wednesday, guys. You know what that means? It's time for the breakdown. What? I'm your host, Catherine, aka the High-Heeled Gamer, and today we're breaking down Shaun Keenan. What? I did it! Bam!
You got it right. Congratulations.
Yes, for once. Now you know what that means, right? Like previous guests are gonna be upset. And then guests after you are going to expect perfection. So I shot myself in the foot here. How are you doing, Shaun? Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me on. So I've been looking forward to it.
Yay, so have we. We definitely, and I say we because Jack's in the background. Jack's actually right behind this. Oh, right there. Oh, there he is. See, right there. Just right there. So Shaun actually owns Comics to Movies, correct? Am I saying that right? I said it right. I have notes and I'm trying not to look over because I'm like, I got to learn how to memorize things. So tell us a little bit about your company, Shaun.
Yeah, so it started back in 2009 and was more like a collectible business. I was a fan for first and foremost. Did a lot of conventions here in Australia and was lucky enough to travel over the seas and do a few conventions overseas. So I'd bring back a lot of different collectible stuff that you couldn't get from overseas, and then kind of sold that at conventions here in Australia. That kind of changed and developed in 2015 when I created my first comic book series called the Extreme Champion Tournament, which has gone on to be the #1 selling independent comic book here in Australia with over 7,000 copies sold. Wow. And last year we won an award for best comic at a film festival, which is pretty cool, and getting it transformed into a feature film, which is something pretty cool. So from 2015, we've started to move across more into a publishing business, and 2021 sees us opening our doors to other creators in regards to publishing their work. So it's been quite a change and different, learn a lot of different things along the way, but it's quite an exciting journey, and one that I've been eternally grateful for.
That sounds like really interesting and super cool. So were you always into comics, like since a little kid, or did you find it as a teen, adult? How did you get into comics?
Yeah, so I think I got my first comic was Spider-Man, probably in the mid 80s. I struggled to read as a kid, and it wasn't until I was an adult that I realized that I was more of a visual learner than a reader learner. So, and a lot of people don't understand that there's different learning styles, and that. So for me, comics was the thing that got me into reading. So, and I don't think if I had not read comics that I would even read a novel or anything to this day, which, as you can see behind me, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I got all the expanded universe books and everything. So I thank it to my mum, because, she thought, outside the box, got me something that I was interested in. She would buy me one each month, and after a few months, she then said, "Okay, well, if I'll keep buying them for you, but you need to start reading books." And that's kind of where my love, came into it. And then, 1991 happened, Jim Lee and the X-Men, and, I'm a massive Gambit fan. So I've even called my dog Gambit. So
Oh wow, Lou just commented, "This
Yes.
is the way." Yes, it is, Lou. Yeah, definitely. So my husband actually is dyslexic, and comics is what helped him try to, figure out. We're a little older than you are, Shaun. So back in the day, it wasn't that we had dyslexia or we had a learning disability. It was just we were lazy and didn't want to read. So he will definitely understand the struggles. But I think he pressed the wrong button. Jack's always pressing buttons.
No, I'm trying to mess with you. Are you kidding me?
But every week. And I'm gonna go to his house and steal that little machine. But anyway, and I actually did a charity event as well to get comic books into the hands of children because it is a gateway to reading. Are you incorporating that with your own family as well?
Yeah, so I'm quite passionate about that and moving more into the publishing side of things. We've donated a lot of our graphic novels to libraries so that kids can access them. And, we've started to actually go out and do talks at schools, which is a little bit daunting, getting up and speaking in front of a bunch of, either prepubescent or pubescent teens, so that's kind of a little scary, but it's been really good and really rewarding. Being able to have our books out there, and I think the mentality around comics has really changed, and people always thought the comics were just superhero stories. And I think, with Netflix and all these other streaming services and things like, The Old Guard and Extraction and all these other movies that are based on comic books that are not superheroes has really opened up the door for us to kind of show education that the graphic novels are a great way to learn, to teach, and to tell stories. So there are multiple facets, medium type of thing. So yeah.
So what made you, or what was your moment that you was like, you know what, I can actually do this instead of just not only just reading it, but actually creating it? What moment was that for you?
That hasn't come yet. That hasn't come yet. Sometimes I every time I run a Kickstarter or crowdfund a comic, I'm just like, is this the time that they realize that I actually can't do this? Is this the time where they're like, you're a fraud? No, I don't know. I just feel really grateful. I'm surrounded by a great team that have helped me on this journey. I'm not afraid to make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes and learned from them. So, I just kind of, I don't know. I think last year when I finally won an award and we've started to get some recognition that, and people have started to come to me and ask advice rather than the opposite way around. I think that's where my mentality has started to change. But I think with all creatives, there's that small part of you that goes, am I good enough at this? Am I great enough at this? And I think it's really just about pushing forward and really, as Shia says, just do it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get real because I try to get as real as possible with a lot of people. So when you have those moments and you have to push forward, is there anything? I know everybody's different, but what do you do to get past those hurdles?
It's my wife, to be honest. She's the person that has been a really big driving force behind my creative career. She is the person that is always there to support me, is always there to lift me up when I've done something wrong or that, and then also to knock me over the head when I need a good kick up the backside. So, I owe a lot of my success to her. She has, given up a lot, especially when I first started this. I did between 20 and 30 conventions
Wow.
a year. So
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
away from home, almost every second weekend. So that put a lot of pressure on her. Then we had a daughter, and she decided to go back to work, so I could continue doing this. So I was a stay-at-home dad for 2 years. So that was something I'm eternally grateful for, because that's something else that's made me more appreciative of not only her but women in general as well. So.
That's pretty awesome, especially having a daughter. She can definitely has sounds like she has a great role model to look up to right in your own home as well. How important is that support system to you?
It's super important, especially when I see like people that have come on the creative scene, that have come and gone over the years, over the 7 years or so that I've been doing this. A lot of the time, it does come down to that what support network they have, and if they don't have that support network, it's a very hard industry to get into, especially over here in Australia. We've only got 25 million people in our whole country, and our country is the same size of North America. So, you've got that in New York alone. So it's not a large industry. So that support network and that family around you that's able to support you, especially when there's very little money coming in due to this endeavor, is really important. So I'm really lucky to have that, and I'm great to see that my wife has always been really passionate about going, do what you're passionate about, do what makes you happy, and then the money side, we'll work that out,
and that's
by
definitely
doing whatever. So.
Yeah, and that's definitely important to do what you love, because in essence, if you're doing what you love, yeah, it is somewhat of a struggle. And yes, there are things that do go wrong, but in some aspects, you are having fun doing what you love. Am I wrong in saying that?
Yeah, I think because I've been doing this for 7 years now, I've always waited for that day where I'm like, okay, does this feel like a job? But there's, and any creator out there will know this. When you get that printed comic, you open up the box, and you literally hold this thing in your hand that you've made. There is no better feeling. It's really hard to explain. The only thing that I can kind of relate it to is, the first time that I held my daughter, and everything is that, that moment that it's a once in a lifetime moment. You never kind of get that that feeling back or again, type of thing. And that's what I get when I first create that first comic book. And then that slowly dissipates, and it's back to the business, the grind, and doing everything
the
all over
promoting,
again.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit about Extreme Champions. Now, help me understand this just a little bit, because it's Extreme Champions Monsters, or is that two separate things?
So we're doing an anthology that's coming up. So XCT is the Extreme Champion Tournament, and then just the anthology is called Monsters. So you can guess it's going to be based on a bunch of different monsters. Breakout is the one that we've won a few awards for. That came out in 2019. So it's an ongoing series. And then this the book that kicked it all off, XCT Spartacus. So the main hero is based on Spartacus, and it follows him where he's been cloned in the year 2069 and finds himself back in gladiatorial combat, where the UFC's evolved to fighting to the death in the Extreme Champion Tournament. So it's kind of history repeats itself type of story, as well as it follows a lot of the social commentary that's going on around at the moment, where we treat certain people as second-class citizens. And I've always loved stories that kind of let you come to the realization of who is good or bad, or from depending on what view you're reading the book, is who you feel is in the right and wrong. And that's one thing that I really love about this story is, like, when they escape in Breakout, it's like, they start killing people, and people are like, oh, well, they're bad, they're doing that. And it's like, well, people are like, well, hang on a sec. You cloned them, you're forcing them to fight in the death, and then when they get out, you're upset that they're fighting back. So, who's actually the bad guy here? So, yeah.
So how did that story come about?
Well, I'm a massive fan of the Spartacus TV series, so I'm a big fanboy of the Star series, and then I loved the UFC. So, literally, it was one night. The Spartacus TV series had ended. The very next day, there was a John Bones Jones fight. And I was watching John Bones Jones. He absolutely destroyed his opponent. And I was like, oh, man, I wonder what it'd be like if this mixed martial arts was put up against, Spartacus or someone like that. And that just kind of got the wheels turning. I'd never written a comic book before. I'd written, like short stories and novels, but never a comic before. And I'm just like, oh man, I really want to do this. And as I said, I surrounded myself with some really good, creative people that really helped me along this journey and fast tracked my knowledge. And, 7 years later, we've got, 3 graphic novels, 5 single issues, a couple of special editions, and a couple of anthologies later. So, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the Monster anthology. That's getting ready to do a Kickstarter, correct?
Yeah. So we're looking to launch in May. So it's got 6 short stories by 6 different artists and writers. So the one thing that I've really loved doing is letting other people play in my sandbox. To have them come in and write different stories on different monsters. So we've got a Cyclops story, a Medusa story, a werewolf story, a Pegasus story, and a Blackbeard story, which is kind of cool. It's very Indiana Jones-esque, is the way that I would describe that story. So it's kind of really cool. It's going to be a full color, and super excited about getting this out in the world. So, and we've got some really talented people working on it. We've got John Ward, who's done script writing for Persons of Interest, and what's the Western Heels? I can't even think. Heels of the West? No, I can't even think. It was a Western TV series that was out. So he worked on that. We've got Paul Mason, who's worked on The Phantom, and a couple of other creators as well. So.
Well, Lou is digging the artwork, and we actually have a trailer. So let's see that trailer real quick.
Oh, Jack, yeah, sure. Just call it out when I'm not ready. No.
Oh, well, I mean, you should have been ready, Jack. Always be ready. So dope. That's so cool. Now, did you create the trailer, or was that somebody else?
I got a friend to create that, but it's so funny because I look at that now and I'm like, oh my god, that's like the first trailer we did. Like, that's so horrible. We're literally about to release another one.
I love how you're like, that's so horrible, and I'm over here with like heart eyes, like, oh my god, that looks amazing.
I literally got this trailer last night, so I have no one has seen it yet at all. But if you want to play it on here, I'm happy to play it on here. But it is a little bit long. It goes for about 2.5 minutes. So.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know if we can cue it up. That's Jack's department. He knows how to do these kinds of
shoot
things.
me a link and we'll see what it does to the internet.
No problem, mate.
You can just send it to me on Facebook and I'll load it up.
See, even Lou agrees with me. And Robert says, awesome trailer. Lou says, horrible ? That was good. The imagery was great. Yeah. Is this one of those classic we are our own worst critics moment? Is that what you're doing?
I think so. Just whenever we create something, especially with our Kickstarters and all that type of stuff, we always try to do better. So we're trying to improve on what we do, type of thing. So I read my first issue of XCT and I kind of cringe and I'm like, this is so bad. Can I just go back and redo everything? But at the same time, I kind of like that because because people can then read it and go, wow, look at how it started. It definitely, the first one is good, but the second one is better. Third one is even better. The fourth one is really good. And then we get to Breakout, and I feel like that's where we've really hit our stride and really kind of, got everything together, the artwork, the storyline, the character development, all that type of stuff working well. So.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're your own worst critic, who do you go to read, to verify, like, no, this is good, it's going to go out? Or are you just like, you know what? F it. This is what's going to happen. I know I don't like it, but someone out there will like it. How does that thought process go?
I've got a few good trusted friends that, hold no punches. And I think we've kind of built up that relationship to say, hey, can you really look at this and give me honest feedback? And sometimes I'll send stuff through and I'll be like, oh, I know that this is horrible, blah, blah. And they'll be like, hey, man, you've got something here. Don't get in your own way, which is what another thing a lot of creatives can do is they get in their own way. You're so much in your head all your time, especially when you're creating, that sometimes, sending it to someone else and letting them tell you honestly whether you're on the right track or not has really helped me. So I've got about 3 friends that I do, and I send it to all 3 of them and then kind of see whether they say similar things. And a lot of the times they'll say, okay, you need to fix up this, or you've hit it on the mark on this. And then I'll go back, redo things, rejig things, and go out. But then there's other times where they're just like, dude, that's perfect. Just put it out the way it is, and just don't worry about it, And in this industry, there's always going to be feedback, good or bad. Right. So you kind of got to have a little bit of tough skin as well. There's things that I've read that haven't been so nice, but I also understand that this book isn't for absolutely everybody. I think everyone can enjoy it, but there'll be those that absolutely love it, and those people that go, okay, not my type of thing, and that's okay. Everyone's got different tastes, and I think people got to understand that when they're creating stuff that you're doing it for a certain audience. And the one thing that really surprised me was that I aimed this at males between the age of 16 and 45, and 40% of my readership are women, which really surprised me. So it did kind of adjust the way I had the way I had certain characters and everything, because I was like, well, okay. If I've got a strong female character in here, I don't want her to be having to be saved all the time. I want her to be a kick-ass warrior that, she's like, hey, man, I can look after myself. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. I'll do what I'm doing. I don't need to be saved. So I really like that type of thing.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because the one thing that I hate, and Lou actually knows me personally, I hate a whiny character. And when they create a female character that's like whiny and super annoying and super needy, I just tune out. Like, I can't. So I appreciate that you know not to do that and make them a strong lead. Like, yeah, every now and again we all need help. Like, I get that. But a whiny, needy character, female character, that is not like my strong suit. How much of that also geared towards you having a daughter? Did that play an influence in it?
100%. I think, having a daughter and, I'm a big Marvel fan, and I just found it unbelievable that you can get a whole heap of like DC female character stuff and that, but you could never get any, Marvel stuff. And, the more and more I looked at things, I didn't realize at such an early age we, kind of pigeonhole girls and boys into certain things. Like, I didn't want to have to dress my girl every day in pink.
Mm-hmm.
But yet when I went to try and find any clothes, it was, especially the younger they are, it was either pink or blue. Or pink or black for boys. There wasn't, orange or much black stuff for girls, or grey or all that type of stuff. So it really has influenced my writing and my characters, and I'm just a little bit more mindful of everything that I write these days. A lot of my characters are all based on historical characters. So there's samurai, so Japanese mythology, there's Greek mythology, there's Maori mythology, which is from New Zealand. So just being very mindful of them as well, and their culture. And I've always prided myself on actually learning something before I write something, and having a daughter has definitely taught me a lot. So
I have 2 boys and 1 girl, and having the girl aspect is definitely different, because it's true what you say. You don't really realize a lot of things until you have to do it. So that it's good that you're being mindful, because then she can, when she gets older and reads your stuff, she could be like, my dad did this and look how he represented. And so that's definitely, I'm glad that you're mindful of that. So let's talk a little bit about the 13th Labor. Is that a separate comic as well?
Yeah, so this one is one that I am, for the very first time, publishing someone else's work. So I really fell in love with this one again, because it was a very good twist on the Hercules story. So 13th Labor picks up Hercules after he's completed his 12 labors, and hurdles him into the future, where his last descendant has to fight in a championship to save Earth. Which is kind of cool. So there's a twist at the end that just and I don't want to give it away, but
no, don't give it away.
absolutely hooked me in, and it kind of went back to the previous question we were talking about in regards to the strong female leads, and this was something that I was just like, I tell you what, I really really enjoyed that. And I reached out to David Gay, who's the writer. He's not on social media a lot. If anyone's ran Kickstarter, they understand that social media is the be all and end all of running a successful campaign. Yes. So he hadn't ran a successful campaign, and I just reached out to him and said, look, I've read the first issue. I love it. This is what I can offer. I've come from the indie creating background, so I want you to understand that there is no me changing your story or making any edits or anything like that. It's literally me just publishing what you've got and you keeping 100% creative control.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's really important because, as I said, coming from the independent background, I have had instances where people get picked up and then, what you have in store for the storyline is not what the publisher wants, and they want you to change stuff, and then before you realize that it's nowhere near anything that you had created in the first place. So I really wanted to have a environment where people could come, publish their work, see a profit from their work, which is a dirty word in the comic industry sometimes. Profit, a profit from their work, and then help them kind of fast track their development in kind of what I've done. The publishing game is not an easy industry to navigate. It's very expensive. So to be able to help people and divert them from some financial pitfalls is something that I'm really passionate about.
So do people submit the comic to you and then you and your company either decide to go forward or kindly reject, or is it something that you're going to look like, you're looking for people and you're like, hey, this is what we can offer?
Yeah, so both. So we haven't opened submissions yet. So by the end of March, we're going to have a page on our website where people will be able to submit directly to us. But up until that point, it's been me proactively going out, having a look on Kickstarter at a lot of failed campaigns that I believe are fantastic and probably shouldn't have failed. And after speaking to David, it was quite evident in the reason why it failed. It was had nothing to do in regards to the story, the artwork, or anything like that. It was about that social media presence, the ability to get in front of enough people and do things like this, put your name out there, do interviews and stuff like that. So so we'll make an announcement on our Facebook page when the submissions go live, but we're aiming for the last week of March to have that all up and going. So very excited.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. Actually, it's somewhat of a new venture, right? Because you said you just shifted into this, correct?
Yeah. So all my previous stuff, it's either I've created it or co-created it. So Fractured Shards is our most successful campaign. So that was co-created with the Spartacus actor Dan Furigal. So he played Agron off the TV series. And I was lucky enough to meet him through the Extreme Champion tournament because I did a Spartacus convention in Maryland in the US. So which is really, really funny. And it's interesting, this book, if someone had told me 10 years ago that I'd write a comic book that would allow me to go to France, the UK, New Zealand, and America based on a comic book, I would have told them that they were effing crazy. But, it's opened up so many doors for me, and really excited to kind of see what 2021 brings now.
That's awesome. I'm so excited for you. Unfortunately, we have come towards the end of our interview. It goes by fast when I'm actually having fun. When I'm actually having fun, it breezes by. When I'm having a terrible time, it's like takes forever. So, but anyway, so Shaun, let them know where they can find you, your website and
email.
Not email, because we don't want that kind
Social
of
security number, whatever.
No, your website, and if you're on any social media.
Yep. So it's nice and easy. It's Comics 2 Movies. So Comics the number 2 Movies. So if you search that on Facebook, we've got a Facebook page. On Twitter, it's comics_2_movies. On Instagram, it's comics2movies, and our website is www.comics2movies.com for everyone in the US, or .com.au in Australia will get diverted. You can check out all of our comics online. If you want to check out the first issue of XCT, we do have a newsletter that you can sign up to, and you get the very first issue for free. So sign up, see what it's all about, and then whether you like it. And we've got a couple of Kickstarters launching in the next few months, so you can get a glimpse into what's to come as well.
So Robert is super upset that we're ending the show, and I'm sorry, Robert. It really does go by fast. More, please. Well, go follow Shaun and his company, and maybe, just maybe, if you play your cards right, and if our schedules align, we'll have Shaun back as well. So that's the beauty of the show. It's not a one and done. The door's almost always open. Almost always. It's open for you, Shaun, though. It's open for you. Thank you so much for coming on our show. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for putting up with her.
Whatever. I was actually a sweetheart this time. Like, I was super nice. I enjoyed talking to Shaun. I did. Yeah, I could tell because I was like cheesing a lot. Y'all know the drill. I don't have a poker face. But anyway, as always, like, share, subscribe, issueswithshow.com, _breakdown_show on Instagram. Damn, I forgot our Instagram. It's fine. You guys know where to @ me because you guys do anyway. So love you guys a lot. Buy our merch because we've got merch. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye, everyone. What?
Just to make sure you see the dancing.
Merch. I've got my own personal merch as well. No shame around.